Órale! Bienvenidos and welcome to the Familia FFB podcast. This is your host, Jorge Martin. Familia. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, April 14th. A little more, just under 2 weeks from the beginning of the draft. But, we know that round two is really when a lot of fantasy players a lot of players who are important for fantasy get picked. So make sure you're keeping an eye out. We got some content coming out. We've already had some good shows. Make sure you're checking out our NFL draft series. We had dedicated shows to the quarterbacks, the running backs, the receivers, the tight ends, all the players who are going to be making a big impact. And make sure you're following us on YouTube, familia. Por favor, por favor, por favor. We got, give us a like and subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. Please, please, please. Our numbers are growing and just want to keep this going so much. And and also, we're a proud member of the Fantasy Points Media Group. Familia, get your 2023 subscription. Is going to take you all the way up to the Super Bowl in 2024. You're going to help you win your leagues. Hopefully win a little money on DFS. Great minds at work there. John Hansen, Graham Barfield, Joe Dolan, Brett Whitefield, Scott Barrett, Tom Brolley. I mean, just so many great people, amigos of the show. So love that to have that partnership. Also, Familia, we're also really proud to be a part of the Underdog Familia. Okay, and Underdog. I mean, we got a partnership with them. When you sign up and put in a deposit of $100 up to $100, we're going to match you $100 from you. They're going to get you $100 free. Play some of the best ball games out there. I've been playing for a couple years now and just love it. Draft. That's all I could tell you. And then you don't have to manage it. Nothing. Just, get that undershot partnership right there. Look at that. Got the logo going on right there. So wonderful. Also, Familia, didn't have a Wednesday show this week. Just I think some of you saw that I put out on Twitter that I suffered a pretty heavy loss this week. Someone I considered like a second mother to me, Sylvia Narduli, the mother of my best friend, best man at our wedding, Jojo Narduli. He and his mom have been a part of my life for more than 35 years, and it's just she lived a wonderful, amazing life, 91 years old. And just whenever I walked into that house, I just sensed the love. She'd just give me a big hug. She'd tell me, "Hi, honey," in her thick Italian accent. And, but nothing was lost in translation when she'd give me a big hug and tell me that she loved me, and love her to pieces. You're Mama Sylvia, you're with family now. You've gone straight up to heaven, and someday we'll see you there. Hope to see you there. But we'll take care of your son. We'll take care of your grandsons, and we'll just keep going on for you and to honor your memory. As you always loved it when I spoke a little Italian. Ti voglio molto bene. Grazie, mama. Grazie. And in Spanish, adios. We got some people in the chat saying hello, Toronto Dave, TD, my man. Great to see you last night on the Lateral Show. That was awesome. That was such a fun time. And Dame Overboard, La Dama. Missed you. I'm glad you joined me. A live stream, not the usual Wednesday night, but we'll try and get back on schedule for that. Alberto, mi amigo, great to see you also last night. Thank you for always being there. And Dame, yes, thank you. We're, you know what, we keep going on doing the things we love to honor the memory of the people who have come before us and who we adore. So gosh, so thank you, and thank you guys for being there. And I got so many great sentiments from people on Twitter. That was it's great to know people are loved. And no easy way to kind of do a segue off of that other than to just start talking about like what we're here to talk about today, Underdog Familia. And again, I started playing a couple years ago, and just fell in love with the game, just being able to draft all the time, play different strategies, do zero RBs sometimes, heavy RB, I mean, or elite quarterback, elite tight end, just different strategies to see, and that's the great thing about it. You can just keep drafting and try different things. It sharpens the saw for when redraft time, when college drafts come up, or if you're doing a dynasty startups, or if you're doing, or for when, July, August, maybe early September, when you're doing your redraft leagues, you keep drafting. You know where people are, when, who's going to be lasting, or you get an idea. I mean, there are always guys that change up, but at the last minute. But seriously, when it comes down to the best ball game, you just sharpen the sauce so much, and it's just great. And I just love having this partnership with Underdog Fantasy. Those folks have just been nothing short of fantastic. So love that. And another thing, you also know, I love me some Superflex. And I'll probably dedicate a show to it later in the, as we get closer to draft time. But this is going to be kind of a preview to that, because a lot of the strategies that I use in Superflex, I'm also going to be using for Superflex redraft. I mean, you kind of play with it a little bit, but definitely there are a lot of the same concepts that I use there. And some of this I felt like really started to come into fruition, come to light, get a sense of clarity, was last year during the Scott Fishbowl draft season, and just kind of, learning about, kind of the importance of going quarterback early, because really that to me is the greatest thing about Superflex. You get into the fact that the quarterback position, which is not only the most important in football, but it's the most important in all of sports. So much is put on top of that. And I just hate the fact that sometimes we're waiting to draft one in the 10th round or something like that. Shout out to JJ Zachariason. Love your strategy. I'm going to play with it a little bit, kind of go contrarian to that, but that's the beauty of fantasy, is you can keep doing different things. But when it comes to Superflex strategy in this game, and this game being best ball, being underdog, you got to know your Superflex strategy and look at your league setups. For the most part, you're going to have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, one flex, and 1 super flex. So that's 1 fewer wide receiver that you're going to be having than you would in a single quarterback league. So that to me is a big important, that is very important when it comes to that, because maybe you don't have to go so heavy on the receiver. And so they're different. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And the other thing that's important about that is just knowing how much the value of quarterbacks. Okay, I'm looking at the rankings for Underdog, and I'm going to post them right here real quick. So un momento, por favor. Muchas gracias por su paciencia. Let's see. So here we are. We're looking at the quarterbacks right now, and honestly, you're looking at the fact that there are 9 quarterbacks that are going in the first 12 picks. So that just shows you the absolute value of that position. I mean, the quarterback 9 is, I mean, you're looking at the quarterback 9 at that point. I mean, you're looking at Deshaun Watson at that point. So that's going in the first round. So you're looking at that. That's the most important thing to keep in mind, is the value of the quarterback. You got 9 going in the first round. By the end of round 2, by the 24th pick, 13 are gone. And that's Kirk Cousins country. Okay. By the end of round 4, 19 are gone. So when you look at the quarterbacks real quick, so we're talking about, I mean, when we're talking about number 19, you're talking about Kyler Murray at that point, who's going to be missing probably half the season. And honestly, if the Cardinals are not doing well, they might decide to just sit him the whole season. So you're talking about him at 19, at 18, Derek Carr. That's what you're talking about by 14 by 4 rounds. So that's 48 picks. 19 of them almost, just about 40% are almost 40% are quarterbacks. So that just shows you the importance. You cannot be left hanging. You can't go a zero quarterback approach. This is not like going zero RB and single quarterback or heavy RB. You can't. This is a position you cannot ignore when it comes to that. So and just to give you another idea, by the end of round 4, there are 13 running backs that are going. This is according to the Underdog rankings. 15 wide receivers and just 1 tight end. So you cannot ignore the position. And the other idea behind it is, you want to draft 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds. So I talked about the fact that by the second round, you've got Kirk Cousins. You're in Kirk Cousins country. But where you get that. So you want to be getting your quarterback at that point. I mean, guys that I really like in that range for the second quarterback. I'm really liking Aaron Rodgers. He may not have the heavy pass volume, but he's going to be good. Jared Goff. I mean, Familia. You basically are adding Jameson Williams to that wide receiver group that's already got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They might still add some more. They might add a tight end. They've still got that fantastic offensive line. Jared Goff is going to have himself a good season, and their defense is going to be better. So, maybe that's not going to lead to the shootouts, but they're still going to be good. Geno Smith, I still expect to have a good season, and you never know. Familia, Russell Wilson could have some bounce back. Sean Payton is that good a coach. If he can get that bounce back, I'll let you get the payoff on the bounce back, Familia. Give you that recommendation. Derek Carr and Matthew Stafford there, he's going in the 53 range, so it's early in the 5th round. He could be another bounce back candidate. I have full faith that Sean McVay is doing what he needs to do to get this team in a good position. And start with the offensive line, please. when we're talking about the draft, let's get some guys. But and you know what? The other thing that's happening is, by the time you're done with the 4th round, there are still some really, really high quality. That's the amazing thing about this. You're really seeing that there are still some wonderful players who are available after the 4th round. Here's some wide receivers that are available at that point. You got Deebo Samuel, you got Calvin Ridley, you got con permiso real quick. Sorry about that. Lo siento mucho, por favor. You got, I mentioned Deebo Samuel, Calvin Ridley, and Familia. Amari Cooper is in that range. A little bit later, you get DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams. There's still just some players who are going to get you 1,000 yards in this season that are available after the 4th round. Running backs that are available after the 4th round. Najee Harris, who I'm expecting to have a big season this year. He's RB15 on the Underdog rankings. Aaron Jones, who I'm also thinking is going to have a big season. He's going to get leaned on heavily by Jordan Love on dump off passes because they really don't have a tight end yet. And even if they get a tight end in the draft, those guys seem to take a better part of a year, sometimes a full year, but it's not till the 2nd year that they come back. Aaron Rodgers is going to get himself some good picks. I mean, some good work in the passing game. And also, if you're talking about tight end, we talked about the fact that we're going to talk about the tight end strategy earlier, but Mark Andrews, TJ Hawkinson, they're both going in the 5th round. So get your quarterbacks early. Do not worry. There are going to be plenty of good players. Secure your 2 starters right off the bat. And another part of the strategy that's a little bit different when it comes to the underdog side of it. Real quick, I got a little bit of a comment here. Damn, I don't, getting the number 12 pick, it's tough. I mean, and I will tell you this, fight the urge to go quarterback at that point. I did that last year. I ended up in a 10-team league, a redraft league. So it wasn't best ball. I ended up going Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. Didn't pay off for me. So definitely go look into getting some quarterbacks. Get a quarterback, or get at least one quarterback. Who knows? You might get this year's Justin Fields. It could be Trey Lance. I haven't given up on Trey Lance, Familia. I have not given up on Trey Lance until they tell me someone else is starting in his place. So, it could be Lance, could be Anthony Richardson being a big time player in the running game. I mean, we saw him run at the combine. He's a freight truck, and he's coming fast. So another possibility. Who are some other guys that are going a little bit later? I mean, Derek Carr is not horrible. I mean, yeah, you're looking at. I mean, Dak Prescott could fall to that point. I think he's ready to have himself a year. You got Tua. With a healthy season, he could have been up 4,500 to 5,000 yards last year. Daniel Jones has got some weapons, and Kirk Cousins. So there are some guys out there for you that you could get, and again, keep drafting, keep drafting, Dame, por favor. Definitely. So getting back to the next bit of strategy is drafting a similar number of wide receivers as running backs. So I think a lot of people have seen the fact that there's different types of strategies with 18 rounds. By the way, in Superflex leagues, in Superflex Best Ball, you've got 20 rounds as opposed to 18 that have been there. But yeah, there was always like the 3, 4, 8, 3, 4, 8, 3, or 3, 5, 7. There was always an inordinate amount of wide receivers compared to running backs, just because of filling that third wide receiver spot. Well, you don't have that in Superflex. That flex position could oftentimes be a running back. Those, and we know if you've got a good one in there, you can pile up the points. The rookie running backs now, this could be a class. A lot of people are hyping up this class. Obviously, Bijan Robinson is exciting, but there are some running backs who could be helping you late in the season, kind of like Tyler Algier and Isaiah Pacheco helped you last year. It could be someone like Zach Charbonnet. It could be guys later on, Zach Evans. It could be, Devon Achane. Just one of those rookie running backs. You could. We'll talk about a strategy there when we talk about throwing darts at the end. Keep throwing them, and those running backs could come through for you. So keep doing that. But when it comes to drafting the similar numbers, you've got guys that are going late after the RB24. So that's assuming guys who are, everybody has drafted their first two running backs. You still got guys like Rachaad White and Tyler Algier, who were very good players last year. Isaiah Pacheco was a player, and I talked about players kind of coming through at the end of the season last year. Guys like Algier, Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon. McKinnon was like a league winner for people there at the end of the season. So look at different type of alignments. There's 3, 6, 8, 3, 3, 7, 7, 3, 4. You could talk about getting 4 quarterbacks. 6, 7, 3, 3, 6, 7, 4. So those different type of alignments when you're getting that. But yeah, try and have a similar number of running backs, because I think you're going to find that there are guys out there at the end. And speaking of running backs, getting guys late. When it comes down, you look at it, Familia, when you're looking at, after drafting a similar number of running backs and wide receivers, but you can do it having gone hero. So we talk about this is the way from Mandalorian. Hero RB is the way. Okay, I just started a draft where I got at the beginning of the second round. I was drafting. Actually, no, I think I was drafting at the 4 spot, and grabbed Joe Burrow, and then came around and got Jonathan Taylor, and then after that got Jared Goff. And then I've just basically like hammered wide receiver at that point. just because I know there are going to be running backs late, and I want to have those stud wide receivers. Because yes, I know I talked about the fact that there's the possibility of your running back going into the flex position, but I want to possibly look at the wide receivers as being as getting 3 wide receivers in there to try and maybe have the flex be one of those guys if I could get high end performers. And I mean I feel good about how that one is gone. I'm looking at the guys that I've gotten in that one. Let me see. Where is that team? Oh, I'll get into it later. But I know I got T. Higgins with Joe Burrow and Devontae Adams, T. Higgins, and I forget who the third receiver was. I think it was like Tyler Lockett. So good, solid players. So get that, when you work up that work. And I feel good about the fact that I've got Jonathan Taylor, who I think is going to have a big season. He's going into his contract year. Keep that in mind. Do not worry about the ankle last year. Okay. His ankle last year was just like the ankle for Saquon Barkley. Okay. It wasn't bothering him in 2022. Okay. The 2021 ankle injury wasn't bothering him in 2022. The 2022 Jonathan Taylor ankle injury is not going to bother him in 2023 when he's going for a contract. And so I think a big season coming up ahead for him. So, pile up that running back. And then you know what? You can look at later on for that second running back. Another guy who I'm looking at a big bounce back, J.K. Dobbins. He's going in the 7th round in underdog rankings. Damian Pierce. Until they add another running back to that room, I know they added, but you know what? I think they signed Singletary in Devin Singletary. They signed him in free agency. That's fine. I don't think he moves the needle. I'm not worried. This isn't like getting Bijan Robinson. Damian Pierce, I think, is going to have 1,000 yards this season. So it's okay to be patient. So, and also talking about these are some of the receivers that are going in the 7th round. Tyler Lockett, Michael Pittman, Terry McLaurin. So you're looking at those guys. You've got the talent is going to be there later in drafts. So, you can go with that hero RB and just kind of mix and match. When it comes to tight ends, Familia, go elite or go quantity. Okay. And when it's, oh, wait a second. I was saying a quick hello. Peng's Picks. Little preview. He's going to be joining me next week. We're going to talk a little more underdog strategy, Familia. So, mi amigo, gracias, papi, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. And Mr. Scampers, I'm going to be sending you a DM. I heard a rumor that I need you to that I need you to confirm for me. So, I'm excited that I want you to confirm the rumor for me. So, por favor, I'll send you that note a little bit later. Getting back to the tight end strategy. Travis Kelce, the dog, the future Hall of Famer. In my opinion, he's going to go down as the best tight end in NFL history. He's going as number 13. And then, as I mentioned, TJ Hawkinson and Mark Andrews are not going until the 5th round. So do you go Travis Kelce early at the end? So Dame, this could be a strategy for you. So you get to 12, maybe you get a solid quarterback, and then you get Travis Kelce, and then you just forget about tight end for a long time, and then you just hammer quarterback, running back, and receiver, and just going to that. Basically, my tight end strategy for this season. Un momentito, por favor. So a little frog going on there that that I had to get rid of. When it comes to Travis Kelce, he's so much better. He's worth almost a touchdown a game over some of the other tight end options. I think you go with him, and then if you don't get him, then I'm fine to bypass Andrews and Hawkinson and even George Kittle, who's going a little bit later. He's going in the 60s. I think he's going a full round after Andrews and Hawkinson. The reason being, Familia, it's really tough to look at the tight end position. Yeah, Kittle is going almost number 66, so kind of like midway through the 6th round. The guys that are going in that range, in the same range with Mark Andrews and TJ Hawkinson and even George Kittle, these are all players who are decidedly doing so much better than them. Wide receivers are getting way more fantasy points than them, and that's what it's about. So I would rather pile up the fantasy points, and then try and piece it together later on in the round. You get a David Njoku, get a Pat Fryermuth, Dawson Knox. I mean, this is best ball, Familia. Pile up 3 tight ends, from the group of, like I said, Njoku, Fryermuth. Kenny Pickett's looking to have a step up this season. Dawson Knox, you get Josh Allen this year. Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet. I mean, it's Chig Okonkwo. There are options there. Grab a couple of those guys and maybe take a dart throw later. So that's why I just look at when it comes to the tight end position, I really want to go early. Last couple bits of strategy that we're talking about: draft at least 3 quarterbacks, Familia. Look at that possibility. Look at that, because you want to have something for bye weeks. And when I say at least, maybe grab a 4th. Okay, you got 20 picks. Grab a 4th quarterback, because the fact that again, this is the most important position. You want that super flex to always be a quarterback. You don't want to have all your quarterbacks on by multiple quarterbacks on by, and then hope that a wide receiver blows up or a running back blows up and goes into that super flex position. So get those third quarterbacks, those rookie quarterbacks, when that are going to be coming in. You look at those guys are the ones that could be making an impact at some point during the season. I think all the quarterbacks, all the 4 quarterbacks that are expected to go in the first round, I think they're all going to go in. They're all going to be expected to play at some point this season. I don't think there's going to be anybody who's going to be sitting for a full season, especially not. Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. And I really think Anthony Richardson is going to be playing a lot this season. And with the rushing upside, as I was mentioning earlier, big possibilities. So grab those guys. And, other possibilities to get late. Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, he could be playing all season. He's going off as the QB 27. Mac Jones with Bill O'Brien. He's going off as the QB 30. He is, there's only going to be improvement from him this year. Even Baker Mayfield, he's got Mike Evans, he's got Chris Godwin. He's going off as the QB 33 right now. Will Levis, QB 34. So he's landing spot dependent to see if he's going to be playing. I think he's going to be playing at some point. I think he's going to get drafted early. I don't know if it's going to be first 4 quarterbacks, as we're seeing some rumors going on. But again, and also the other thing to keep in mind, get those quarterbacks done, because by the 10th round, the quarterbacks are pretty much gone. So, by the 10th round, Will Levis is going off as the QB 34. He's going off around pick number 117. So that's the tail end of the 10th round. And after that, it's who are the guys that are going to be backups that may be starting. And I don't know if you want to get into that. Last bit of advice, Familia: throw some darts. Boom, boom, boom. Throw some darts. Get them out there. After the 10th round, after you've got a pretty set roster, start going after rookies. The rookie wide receivers have been popping for us last year. Jahan Dotson did well last year. Drake London was doing well at the end during the fantasy playoffs. Chris Olave was going earlier than that, but I mean, all these guys were doing well. The rookie running backs, I think there's going to be some committees that could turn into turn into big time players, during the back half of the season that are, if you get into some tournaments or something like that, they could make a big difference for you. Throw some darts. Okay. Fill out your tight end room at that point. Those are the ones that could pop on various weeks. Remember, Evan Ingram had himself some big weeks last year, and he was basically an afterthought when it came to best ball. So I think that's it, Familia. I think that eso es todo for our show. Again, thanks to Underdog. Make sure you get your Underdog subscription. Okay, Familia? go to underdog.com, put in the promo code Familia23, okay? And we'll match you up to $100 on your first $100 on your first $100 deposit. Also, special thanks to fantasypoints.com, our amigos at Fantasy Points. Get your 2023 subscription, Familia. Make sure you're going use that. Get in there, get that winning strategy. Again, one more time, a little plug for our YouTube page. Go to Familia FFB on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And also, lastly, if you want to listen to us on audio, Spotify for podcasters. Anchor is no more. Spotify for podcasters. Thank you for putting us on Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get your audio podcasts. That's where you can just follow Familia FFB, and we're going to keep dropping into your archive right there. So going to be dropping at least one show a week. Some weeks there are going to be a couple, depending on some special one-off shows, and then we're going to be getting into our 32 for 32 series in the June-July timeframe. That's where we're talking about our NFL insiders, Familia. Muchas gracias. Oh, also just keep in mind, familiafb.com. I'll be dropping an article on this just to kind of memorialize this a little bit more. Probably dropping this on Monday. Muchas gracias for joining us. Thank you so much. Those the people, our amigos in the chat: Toronto Dave, Dame Overboard, Alberto, Peng, Mr. Scampers. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, have a great weekend. And always keep in mind, todos somos familia. Salud.